Hello and welcome to my channel. My name is Rachel. If this is your first time here, welcome. And if it's not your first time here, thanks for coming back. Today, I am going to be doing 2 looks with the new Natasha Denona Golden Collection. I bought everything in the collection. There is an eyeshadow palette, one of her midi size palettes that is all neutral golden tones. I also bought the highlighter trio, which looks like this. We have like a light, medium, and a deep highlighter. And then also a golden glimmer gloss as well. Usually when I have these types of videos, multiple look videos, I structure them in a way where I start with close-up swatches, information about the collection. Then I show you look number 1, look number 2, and I give you my initial thoughts at the end. Now this is not a full review. I've only used these products twice. I have to continue using them before I give my final thoughts on them. They will end up in review videos in the future, but this is just a way for me to show you different things that you can maybe create with this collection. How much variety can we get out of this palette? Spoiler alert, not a lot. But I always have timestamps down below in the description box, and I will also link this collection and everything that is on my face in both looks in the description box. Give this a thumbs up if you enjoy these types of videos, and consider subscribing. All right, let's talk about this collection. I did purchase this myself, but I do have an affiliate code with Natasha Denona. On her website, you can save 15% with the code Rachel. So I actually used my own code. Okay, I used my own code. I bought this from her website. I also had some points to use, and that's kind of why I did that. So let's start off with the eyeshadow palette. So this is the golden eyeshadow palette. It retails for $69. It says, with overwhelming requests to bring back one of her most loved palettes, Natasha unveils the golden eyeshadow palette, a new and elevated 15-shade version of her previous original gold palette. Featuring new and existing shades in her iconic formulas, this palette is designed to create mesmerizing golden-hued looks. This palette is cruelty-free and made in Italy. So I will say, I don't own the gold palette. I don't own the original gold palette, okay? So I can't like actually compare them side by side. I can't compare like the existing shades. I'm sure plenty of other creators have done that. But I will tell you, just by looking at a picture of the gold palette has 2 pops of like a bluish green, okay? And all the rest of the shades in that palette look pretty similar to this. Unfortunately, in my opinion, I definitely think she should have kept either a version of those blues or a pop of something, because I feel that those 2 pops of color in that palette made it a little more versatile than this, okay? This is just my initial thoughts looking and comparing the 2. Now, I will say, again, I've not tried the gold palette. You'll have to let me know if you've tried it and what your thoughts are on the gold palette. I know so many people love that palette. What she's been doing lately with her palettes the past year or so, maybe even a little longer, is she has put different formulas in her palettes, where I feel like her old palettes, it was pretty standard shimmers and mattes, and that was kind of it. So this palette has 2 cream to powders, and it has a couple of different shimmer formulas. We have a wet effect, we have that more crystal topper shades. So there are different formulas in here, okay? So I don't know that the gold palette had that. So that is a plus. How she's saying it's elevated, I think, in terms of the formula, but color story wise, this is going to be way less versatile in my opinion. So anyway, that's information about the palette. Let's talk about the highlighter trio. I love Natasha Denona highlighters. I think she does an amazing job. They are just the most beautiful, wet looking, not chunky, not sparkly, super flattering, super beautiful. You can build them up. You can keep them a little more lit from within. So this is the Golden Highlighter Trio. It says, Natasha's Golden Highlighter Trio multi-use hybrid cheek glow palette features 3 captivating universal highlighter shades that can be used on the cheeks, lips, and eyes. Debuting a new and innovative hydrating hybrid formula enriched with active ingredients, this unique gummy gel powder delivers an extreme high-foiled finish. This is vegan and made in Italy, and it is retailing for $55. Now, I will agree, this is a gummy gel powder. Like, it's very, almost squishy. Very beautiful. Very, very beautiful. I personally cannot use this deepest one as a highlighter. It's too deep for me, which is totally fine. I have no problems with that. I can use the other 2. But yeah, very beautiful formula. Very happy to pick this up. And then third, we have the Golden Glimmer Gloss. This retails for $29. It says Natasha introduces the Golden Glimmer Gloss, an innovative clear oil gloss formula that illuminates the lips with iridescent golden sparkles while delivering the benefits of a hydrating oil. This hybrid shimmering lip plumper subtly tingles to give the lips visible volume and a high shine mirror finish, leaving them with a noticeably plumped effect. Cruelty-free and made in Italy. I give you my thoughts later on in the video about this, but it is pretty much a clear gloss with a golden sparkle to it, and it has a kind of standard, slightly pointed doe foot applicator. Doesn't really have a scent that I can smell. If it does, it's very, very faint. So that's the gloss. I would absolutely love for you to sound off down in the comments what you think about this collection. Did you pick any of these products up? Did you decide to skip out on the collection? Please let me know your thoughts down in the comments. I would love to know. So now I'm gonna send you off to look number 1. Okay, let's create a look with the Golden palette. I was just looking at her website, looking a little bit deeper into what each of the shades, like the different formulas. There are 2 cream to powders, and I personally don't really like the cream to powder formula from Natasha Denona. But because of that, I am going to use one of them today. All right. Not at first, but I will come back to these at some point. I'm going to go in with a fluffy brush. I'm going to go into the shade Flesh and just put this through the crease. Yeah, with the Natasha Denona mattes, I do feel like they show up slightly deeper on the eyes than they do in the pan, which I don't mind. I think that's kind of nice. And I do feel like this one definitely showed up a little bit richer on the eyes. So very nice. Next, I'm going to go in with the shade Teak right here on a slightly smaller blending brush and put that lower in the crease. Next, I'm going to go in with the shade Log and put this in the outer corner. I just put the NYX glitter primer all over my lid, and now I'm going to go in with the shade Varus right here, this like deeper metallic, and I'm going to put this pretty much all over the lid. Very pretty shade. All right, I'm back. I probably already said it, but everything else that is on my face will be in the description box. Let's continue on. Let's just finish up the eye look while we're here. I'm gonna take that darkest shade Log, and I am going to push this up against my lower lash line. I'm going to blend that out with Teak. And then finally, I'm going to blend it out with Flesh. And in my waterline, I'm going to use ColourPop's Sunnyvale. All right, I want to use this cream to powder shade called Mliko right here. I want to see if I can use that in my inner corner. I'm not sure how light it's going to be, but I'm going to give it a shot. Yep, that works actually. Very brightening. I mean, my first impression on the eyeshadow palette is it worked great. Like the mattes are the good Natasha Denona pigmented, blendable, easy to work with types of mattes. The shimmer on my lid, the metallic, it's just a standard shimmer. It's not advertising to be anything more than that. And I think it's pretty. I think it's nice. And this cream to powder is very vibrant. And it picked up quite nicely on my brush, which I was surprised with. I felt like sometimes in the past when I've used the cream to powder, it doesn't pick up the greatest, but so far so good. So let's continue on. I want to use the Golden Highlighter Trio. This is absolutely beautiful. I love Natasha Denona's highlighter formula. I think it's so, so good. So today I want to try out the lightest shade, and that is called Pearl. Let's try that. Beautiful. Let me back up a little bit so you can see it better. Ooh, look at that. Just very wet looking on the skin, not chunky or glittery. She just does a highlighter so, so well. Look at that. Beautiful. Beautiful. Okay, the lip gloss. This is supposed to be a lip plumper, okay? I've not watched anybody else's video. I don't know what that means. I'm hoping it's not like the burning version. I'm gonna put this on just on my bare lips. I wanna see what it looks and feels like. It is a little on the thicker side. I'm gonna let this sit for a minute.
A few moments later.
So I'm gonna say it's been about 5 minutes, and look how red my lips are. It's a burning plumping gloss. Now I will say, I don't feel like it's as burning as like the Fenty plumping gloss. It's not that burning. I would say out of a 1 to 10, 1 being no burning at all, 10 being like I stuck my lips on the stove burner, this is probably like a 4.5 to 5. Like, it's moderately spicy. It definitely is getting plumper, and it's making my lips a little red. So it's not my favorite thing, but it's not the worst plumping gloss I've ever used. I am gonna wipe it off. What I am gonna do is I'm gonna finish up the rest of my makeup. I'm gonna put on a lipstick underneath and put that on top, because sometimes if you put a barrier between your lips and the gloss, it's not as bad. So I'll try that out. I'll come back. I'll show you the finished look. So no, I changed my mind. I did not put this back on. I really did not like how it was feeling on my lips. It was kind of weirding me out. So this isn't for me. I just don't like a plumping, burning gloss. I just don't like it. So I put on the Sigma Infinity Point lipstick in the shade Temptation. That is what's on my lips. Of course, everything's gonna be linked down below. But my first impression on the palette is it's good. Like, it works like I would expect a Natasha Denona palette to work. The mattes were great. The shimmer's pretty. The cream to powder, actually, I'm a little more impressed with than I thought I would be. But of course, I'm gonna create another look. Let's see how different the look can look. I don't know, right? I'm not too sure. So the highlighter's really pretty, like just very wet looking, very pretty. So of course I am going to use another shade in this for my next look, and the gloss, I'm not going to use this again. It's just not for me. So anyway, this is look number 1. Now I'm going to send you off to look number 2. All right, I am back for another look. I will tell you, I swatched this palette before sitting down to film this second look. I don't know, you guys, I'm swatching them out. A lot of the mattes look very similar. A lot of the shimmers look very similar. I'm not like living, breathing, dying for this palette like I thought I was going to. Like, seeing it in person, it's pretty redundant. I don't know. Those are kind of my thoughts right now. Yesterday you saw that I did more of like a slightly deeper, smokier look, or at least as deep and smoky as I could get it to be with what we've got to work with. So today I think I want to do something a little lighter and brighter. That's what I'm thinking. I want to go in with this creamed powder shade called Panna right here. I'm going to put this through the crease. Okay, that actually looks like it's pretty close to my skin tone. I don't really know how much that actually did, so anyway, let's move on to the next shade. I'm gonna go into the shade Aria right here and put that a little lower in the crease. I'm gonna put this in the outer corner as well. So to make this the least similar to yesterday's look as possible, I'm not going to deepen it up with the only deepening up shade. I'm just going to leave it with these two mattes. So I'm going to go in with this gold shimmer called Oro. And put this all over my lid. I did put the NYX glitter primer on my lid off camera. That's really pretty. That's really, really pretty. I'm going to take the Fenty Beauty Fly Liner in the shade Big Truffle, which is just like a warm brown liquid liner, and I'm just going to line my upper lash line with this. All right, I'm gonna head off camera, I'm gonna put some more makeup on, and then we can continue with the look. Okay, I'm back. Let's continue. I'm gonna pop this highlighter on. I wanna use the middle shade. Now, after swatching these, this deep shade called Bronze is absolutely way too deep for me, and it's a little too warm for me to wear like as a bronzer topper. So I don't know that I'm really gonna get use out of this. Maybe I'd put it on my eyes, but I always say stuff like that and then I never actually put it on my eyes. So I'm gonna go in with this middle shade called Sun Glow. Let's try this. This should work. Let me back up a little bit. Yeah, that's pretty. I like that. Yeah, this is nice for like more like melding into my skin tone and not being as beaming bright as the first shade that I used. Yeah, that looks so pretty. Very smooth, almost creamy. Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. And now let's continue on with the eye look. For my lower lash line, I am going to take the deepest matte shade called Log on a flat definer brush and just push this up against my lower lash line. I'm going to blend that out with Aria. For my inner corner, I want to go into the shade Aura right here. It's actually really, really pretty. It's like a yellow gold, really pretty. For my waterline, I'm just gonna use a cream. This one is from Flower Beauty. It's the Forever Wear Eyeliner in the shade Moonstone. All right, I'm gonna go off camera. I'm gonna finish up the rest of my look. I am absolutely not gonna be using this plumping gloss ever again. I really didn't enjoy it, so I'm not gonna torture myself. So I'm gonna go off camera. Let me finish up the rest of the look. I will come back to show you the final look and to give you my initial thoughts on this collection. All right, and this is the finished look number 2. What do you think? Okay, here's the deal. I think it's pretty, but this palette, I definitely think is pretty one-noted. Now, I do feel like this look does look different than the look I did for look number 1, but I definitely wish there was just a pop of something. And it's interesting to me that this is the revamped version of the gold palette, which the gold palette had 2 pops in there of that like bluish green, which is not my favorite color, okay, I'll be honest with you, in a matte and in a shimmer. But with that addition of those 2 colors, it really gave that palette much more variety. And this doesn't have a ton of variety. I feel like this could have been either condensed way down or, like I just said, add a pop of purple, add a pop of something, you know what I mean? It's the undertones are all the same. It's very, very one-noted, okay? Now, with that being said, will I use this palette? Yeah, I will. Do I like neutrals? Yeah, I love neutrals. So like for me, I'll use it. But I would say like if you're not a super neutral lover, I don't know that you really need this palette. I do appreciate that there are different textures in here, different formulas, which she has been doing with her palettes in the past year or so, compared to like the bronze palette. The bronze palette to me, all the shimmers are the same formula. I don't love the shimmer formula. It's her old like standard metallic formula, which is not super shiny. I mean, it's pretty, it's fine, but at least there are a couple of different textures in here, so I appreciate that. I do like that there is a really light shimmer, a really dark matte, a really light cream to powder, which I actually really like this much more than I thought I was going to. So is this going to like rank number 1 in my monthly palette ranking? I don't see that happening, but am I going to use it? Yeah. Yeah, I'll use it. I'll use it. As for the highlighter trio, I love her cheek formula, her blush formula, her highlighter formula. So I love the formula of these highlighters, but I will say I definitely wish that this was maybe released either in singles or in duos. Maybe you could have released like these two in a duo, and then maybe this with a deeper one, or this with a another one that's in between these two, you know what I mean? Because I don't feel that somebody can use all three of these, whether you're deep, medium, light, I don't know. That's just where my mind is at. I wish it was either singles or duos, something like that. But I'm not mad that I have this. And I obviously went into it knowing that I probably wasn't going to be able to use the deepest shade. So I spent my money knowing that. It's not her fault. Like, it was clearly shown that this deep one was not going to be for me. And that's okay. But it would have been a little more cost effective for somebody else to have it in a different form. And then I've already told you how I feel about this gloss. Absolutely not. I don't like a burning plumping gloss. This one really ended up bothering me a lot. And in fact, it got inside my mouth and it was bothering my throat. So for me, it's a no. It's a no, 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 no. I don't want this. I'm gonna definitely declutter it for sure. So anyway, I would love to know your thoughts on this collection. Did you pick it up? Did you skip on it? Let me know your thoughts because I love hearing from you. And if you did enjoy this video, please give it a thumbs up. That helps me out a lot when you do that. And if you're not already subscribed to my channel, I would love it if you would consider subscribing before you leave. I do upload videos weekly and I'd love to see you back on my channel again. I want to thank you so much for watching and I will see you next time. Bye.